The paraglider taught you resilience. You survived the backlash. The boundaries held. The threats stopped coming. You're standing firmer than you've ever stood. The system accepted the new frequency. This is where most people think the danger ends and they lower their guard. This is where they make the final mistake. Because the greatest threat isn't external. It never was. A hornet appeared in the corner of the ceiling during my dream. Silent. Massive. The size of my fist. Not a small bee. Not something I could swat casually. Something that required attention. Something that required recognition that this was dangerous in dreams. Size matters. When something appears disproportionately large, a hornet the size of a fist, your unconscious mind is amplifying its importance. It's saying this threat exceeds normal parameters. Not a typical danger. This is something that could cause serious harm. I asked my partner to come and see it. In the dream, I needed her to witness it. I needed her validation that yes, this thing exists. It's real, and it is dangerous. Because the primary threat in this episode isn't from the hornet itself, the threat is from the denial of the hornet's existence. This is episode 4, because you've already climbed 3 mountains. You've developed awareness, you've established boundaries, you've survived resistance. Now comes the deepest lesson, the threats that hide in the spaces where you feel most safe. Intimate relationships are the safest space in human experience. They're where we're most vulnerable, exposed, most trusting and defenseless. This vulnerability is necessary. Love requires it. Connection requires it. But vulnerability also creates the perfect environment for hidden wounds to fester. The hornet in the corner represents unconscious patterns that neither you nor your partner see clearly, resentments that build slowly, unmet needs that accumulate, unspoken frustrations that compound. These aren't threats from external people. These are threats emerging from within the relationship itself, from the spaces you're both too comfortable to examine. In the previous episodes, the threats were obvious. Hedgehog. Something crosses your path, you notice it. Toilet. Something overflows, it's visible, undeniable. Paraglider. Something comes at you repeatedly, you have to dodge. Each one required external action. The hornet is different. The hornet is about internal recognition, about seeing what's been there all along, about noticing the danger hiding in the place you thought was safest. Here's what neuroscience tells us about intimacy and threat blindness. The longer you're with someone, the more neural pathways dedicate to predicting their behavior and your response. Your brain essentially stops looking. You know what to expect. You've developed patterns, rituals, defenses. This efficiency is beautiful for connection. It's how you can move through life together without constant hypervigilance. But this same efficiency creates blind spots, dead zones, places where threats may accumulate unnoticed. My partner was in the dream with me. She didn't see the hornet. I did. Not because I'm more perceptive, not because I'm more spiritual, but because the dream was generated by my unconscious mind, and my unconscious mind saw something that my conscious mind, and certainly her conscious mind, wasn't acknowledging. This is what makes the hornet so dangerous. It's not that it's attacking, it's that its presence is creating a state of tension that neither of you can quite name. You feel it, she might feel it too, but neither of you wants to acknowledge it directly. So it hovers, in the corner, growing larger. Think about what this represents psychologically. When you establish strong boundaries with external people, you're also in effect concentrating more emotional intensity within your intimate relationship, more time, more attention, more energy, all flowing into one container. That's healthy. That's the point of boundaries. You reclaim energy from toxic relationships and redirect it to your primary partnership. But this concentration can also create pressure, higher expectations, more vulnerability. The stakes feel higher because they are. And when something starts to go wrong, even subtly, the impact is magnified. The hornet represents this, a small threat that, in the context of an intimate relationship, becomes disproportionately significant. In my experience, the hornet appears when you're not addressing something that's been building. Not necessarily a big conflict, could be something small that you've both decided not to talk about. It's not important enough to fight about. I don't want to start anything. Maybe it will just go away. But these things don't go away. They accumulate, they become hornets. I'll give you a concrete example. You establish a boundary with a family member. Your partner supports this. Consciously, you're both aligned. Nevertheless, subconsciously, your partner might be experiencing a small resentment, not at you, but at the situation. They see you stressed. They see you navigate fallout. They wonder if the boundary was necessary. They might feel pulled into a conflict that wasn't theirs to begin with. This resentment isn't expressed. It's not conscious. So it lives in the corner of the ceiling, silent, growing larger. Or another example. You're prioritizing yourself more now. Setting limits on how much emotional labor you'll absorb. This is healthy. This is necessary. But your partner, who benefited from your over-availability in small ways, might feel the absence. The times you used to stay up late listening to their problems, you now end the conversation at midnight because you need sleep. These are good boundaries, they're healthy. But they create a micro-experience of loss in your partner. Again, not discussed, not acknowledged. Living in the corner as a hornet. The danger of the hornet is that it doesn't attack suddenly. It's not like the paraglider that crashes at you repeatedly. The hornet is silent. It's watching. It's waiting. And if you don't deal with it, it will eventually sting. Not because it wanted to from the beginning, but because you violated its space or it felt threatened. This sting can look like sudden emotional distance, passive aggression, coldness that appears out of nowhere. Your partner might not even understand why they're responding this way. They don't know the hornet is there. You do, because you're the one who saw it in the dream. Your unconscious mind is sending you this dream for a reason. It's not predicting a crisis, it's offering you a choice point. Right now, in this moment, you can acknowledge the hornet. You can bring it into consciousness. You can talk to your partner about what you're sensing underneath the surface. Or you can ignore it. Let it stay in the corner. Pretend you didn't see it. If you choose the first path, awareness and communication, the hornet loses its power. It becomes just a hornet, something you understand, something you can address together. If you choose the second path, denial and avoidance, the hornet grows. In dreams and in reality, it accumulates, until one day it stops being silent. The most important part of my dream was asking my partner to look. I didn't just see the threat and handle it alone. I invited her into my awareness. I said, "Look, this thing exists. Do you see it?" In real life, this looks like vulnerability. It looks like saying, "I'm sensing something between us. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to understand it together." It looks like bringing the corner of the ceiling into the light. Most people don't do this. Most people hope the hornet will just leave. They say, "It's probably nothing. I'm probably overreacting. Why would I bring this up and ruin a good thing?" This is how relationships deteriorate slowly. Not through dramatic conflict, but through accumulated, unspoken resentments. Through threats that nobody acknowledges until they become impossible to ignore. The hedgehog taught you external awareness. The toilet taught you boundary consequences. The paraglider taught you resilience. The hornet teaches you something deeper, the importance of bringing hidden threats into the light before they sting. In episode 5, we move into even deeper territory, because once you understand the hornet mechanism, you start to see it everywhere. In your friendships, in your workplace, in your extended family. The pattern becomes visible, and visibility creates choice. Before we get there, I want you to reflect on something. In your closest relationship, what's in the corner of your ceiling? What have you both been avoiding? What small resentment, unmet need or tension are you both pretending isn't there? Write that down. Not to create drama, not to start a fight, but to bring awareness, to see what your unconscious mind is already seeing. The hornet shows up in dreams long before it stings in real life. Your partner who loves you most, your unconscious mind is trying to protect you. It's showing you the danger in advance, giving you time to address it together. The question is, are you paying attention? In episode 5, we go to the very foundation of where all these patterns begin. Not your current relationships, not your current choices, your childhood. The milk carousel represents abundance, generosity, and the hidden resentments that emerge when giving becomes obligatory, when the giver starts to resent the taking. This is where family patterns are born. Generational patterns. Wounds that pass from parent to child unspoken. If you thought the hornet was dangerous, wait until you see what's feeding it. See you in 24 hours. Feel free to share in the comments. What did you dream about recently, and how did you feel when you woke up?